Hello.
Wait.
Escape the Kraken, Part 2.
Wait.
One second, we're going to reintroduce everyone. So, starting.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who the hell is this person?
This is our fourth player who was just happening last week. It's okay.
Amazing.
So,
I just have to. It's Sarah.
Clockwise around the table, we're going to introduce everyone.
Introduce someone else, actually.
Well, we're going to start clockwise, and your name, your character, and what your class is, your character class. So, starting with Sarah.
I'm Vanjuul, and I'm a hill dwarf ranger.
Perfect. Hill Dwarf Ranger.
I'm Heiji, and I am a polluted dragon, wyrmling, rogue.
Is I, Gunter. I control the banjo, and I am nearby. The half-orc is alive.
Sounds good.
Also, I have my little minion, Noseless.
Noseless.
Noseless is a navigator of the
Noseless.
seas, but he is my minion. He will always follow me now. Until death.
Until then. Someone always has a minion. They always have. Aiden.
I am Swift, I am your ranger, and I am the half-elf, the token half-elf.
Fantastic. All right, and my name is Adam, and I'm the Dungeon Master for Part 2 of Escape the Kraken. Last time, our intrepid adventurers found themselves captured on a pirate ship, chained to rotten wooden benches, overseen by evil pirate slave lords who have taken all their equipment, sold all their goods, and are sailing the high seas. All of a sudden, the three, except for, what's your name again? Vanjuul?
Yes.
Except for Vanjuul, the other three here, woke up during the midst of a crazy storm and noticed that several of the other captives on the boat had broken free and were fighting with the pirates. One of them, a more imposing looking woman, tossed a key to the three heroes who did not manage to catch it, but did manage to break out of their chains after. I believe our rogue managed to pick the locks on with the distraction. There's enough of a distraction that the pirates didn't stop you from picking the locks, like you may have tried several times before over the last few weeks while you were captured. And as you broke free and began to fight with the pirates and explore the ship, you went down to the hold, found a cowering Noseless down in the hold of the ship with all the cargo, found a gorilla who you freed and is now running around somewhere on the ship.
He will soon also become my minion, if I can find him again.
And found some weapons, found some equipment, a couple of healing potions, and have managed to basically run amok on the ship while it's possibly being taken over by some sort of mutiny. Eventually, you ran into a few of the tougher pirates fighting back against a woman you saw earlier who turned out to be a paladin. And her name is, she said her name is, I cannot remember, her name is Scylla, and she's a paladin of Helm, she said, and she was trying to lead the revolt to help people escape because she believes in protecting people and helping captives out and that kind of thing. And that was basically where we left off, I believe, as you guys had defeated a chosen who was a tougher pirate who was a member of some kind of evil cult, along with two other pirates that were backing him up. Oh, and I did forget, you went to the captain's quarters and found a terrifying evil statue that Gunter attempted to pick up and throw out the window, but immediately something started communicating with him, something otherworldly, and told him
Evil
that
speaking statue taught to mind.
Exactly, and
it promised ship if I kill crewmates, so I want the ship.
Yes, it said, you get rid of the crew, you can have this ship.
We also found a Necronomicon on there, and so Gunter threw it out the window.
Fair enough. You also found an evil book. In the captain's quarters, you found some of your old equipment. So the best pieces that you own
with the statue, I didn't throw them out. They're just there, in the corner, just nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So you found various treasures in the captain's quarters, like I said. So Gunter found his banjo, Swift found his longbow, Heiji found your ring and cloak. I believe we agreed, which are important items to
mainly
your background.
Then the next
ring,
cloak.
but cloak as well. And you also found a giant fancy pirate's hat, which you're now wearing, which is awesome.
I have the captain outfit on, just the fanciest I could have grabbed.
And yeah, so I think, I think that's pretty much everything. You so far explore the ship. You hear, as we zoom back into the action, the three of you, can I have your tokens for a moment? Are in this room, which is Sarah is not here yet.
Yeah.
So
Sarah's currently
Scylla
somewhere.
and our heroes are standing around. Noseless is cowering back in the corner because he's not much of a fighter.
We looted a body.
He was
of him,
outside,
and I
then
got
after I just called
Yep.
him over.
You guys looted some of the pirates' weapons because now you're more armed. You started off with just basic improvised weapons, but now you have some real weapons to defend yourselves.
And I'm just standing on the table.
Swift is standing up on a bench where he had earlier in the last session stood up on the bench to get a high ground and shoot the much tougher looking chosen cult member and brought him down, which was awesome.
And I
With a
managed
natural
to
20, I believe.
Yeah, it was
I believe it was a nat 20, which is
and
awesome.
I managed to defeat the other pirate
Yeah.
by caving his head in with the lantern.
So, as we zoom back in, like I said, the chaos in this room has calmed down a bit as you defeated some enemies. And with that, I'm going to say that Vanjuul bursts in through this door, also having managed to escape. So you also were a captive, but not in the same room as these guys. So the easy way to bring you in. So can I have your name there? So Vanjuul using an actual mini, because I like paper minis, but regular minis are cool. So we have a couple of those here.
Provided by me.
Bursts into the door and so I'm going to say you burst in like you're screaming out a war cry, and you also basically have no equipment. You maybe have scavenged something or other, but you see these other people who are clearly captives, probably on your side. And Sarah, what do you do when you see these other group of people?
I see them. I ask. Was it Heiji? Heiji, if I can join them.
What do you say?
Friend, yes.
All right. So, do you tell them about who you are, what's going on? Do you ask anybody ask make introductions?
Yeah. So, the Vanjuul, the hill dwarf, and I don't really remember how I got captured, but I woke up and I was here.
Woke up on a pirate ship.
Yeah.
Chained to a bench. That is good enough.
Completely alone.
So you burst in through that door there, and like I said, you have only seen at this point another room that looks exactly like this. So it's another room. Basically, what these benches are is they don't use them all the time, but when they need, they can make captives use giant oars to actually row the ship. So if it's in shallower waters, or if it's in, if they need a bit more maneuvering power, they'll actually get dozens and dozens of captives to do that. Hello. All right, we are back after our brief interruption for pizza, which is the best kind of interruption. Okay, I remember something I was going to ask earlier. Last week, I mentioned that Scylla, the paladin NPC, said that she saw on the upper deck of the ship a giant ballista on the front of the bow of the ship. Do you guys want to have gunpowder in this campaign? And so instead of a ballista, it would be a cannon.
I'm fine with gunpowder.
I'm fine either way. So this will be slightly more of a 16th, 17th century type adventure than a totally medieval adventure, which I think is fine, but it's also fantasy, so it doesn't matter that much anyway.
It's like.
So, retcon from last week, Scylla says that there is a cannon on the bow of the ship, just as she noted that to you guys earlier, and that it's a large single-masted ship. You did hear a loud crack last week as if something was breaking or tipping over on the top deck, so possibly there was some damage. And as of right now, as Vanjuul bursts in, you come from you came out of a room that was exactly like this one you were in, one ahead of it, but you know that on the far side of that room, there were these nice wooden doors leading to some sort of quarters. It's like ship's quarters for someone more important. So these guys saw the captain's quarters last week. You know that there's a nicer room on the front as well. So this direction is the front of the ship, the bow of the ship, and this is the stern. And I guess I'm not going to mix this up. I'm going to look like an idiot. Starboard, aft, and starboard, I think. No, aft is the. Yeah, whatever. I can't remember what it is.
I have your hand flying in
Port
front
and
of the camera.
starboard.
Port and starboard, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. The aft and the bow of the ship are there. Aft is the back and the bow is the front. Anyway, so you know that towards the bow, there does seem to be another room, and you know as well, you did notice that there's a trap door and like a fold down ladder in that room as well. But the trap door, the ladder was folded up, and the trap door seemed to be locked in the room you came from. So I'm going to say you tell them that information, and I'm going to ask what you guys do. Do you want to keep going forward into the ship, or do you want to go back the way you came?
First stuff. In Captain Rum's left? That's left?
You came from the captain's room pretty much last time.
Yes, but I'm pointing to her and going like, first up, is it in the captain's room?
So, what kind of equipment do you have, and what would you consider your most prized piece of equipment?
Let's see, I've got a longbow and 20 arrows. I like that.
Aiden or Swift also have a longbow.
I also have 2 simple melee weapons.
So, you can pick, basically I'm going to say you can pick one special thing, that's all you have.
Okay.
Because they would have taken everything from you and sold it off, to make whatever money.
Yeah.
Before they ransom you back to whoever you're from or force you into captivity to work on the ship or what. So.
I'll do the two simple. Or the one.
Sure. Yeah. So 2 simple weapons. So 2 simple like hand weapons.
Yeah.
So that would be like a melee weapon. So what kind of weapon do you think you have? Like an axe or a sword or?
I don't have. Yeah. An axe.
Okay. So I will say you're a dwarf, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? I'm going to suggest that you have a battle axe. Dwarves often have axes, right? Like that's just the trope.
Yeah.
So you have when you guys looked through the captain's quarters and found all the loot there was this really nice dwarven axe, and clearly belongs to this person. So do you guys want to give it back to, because she has no
Give
weapons.
over the axe, as he is the one holding it.
Yeah. He's noseless, runs up and says, this looks like it must be yours. And hands it to you. So you now have a battle axe. So a battle axe, when you attack with it, if you hit, which we'll get to in a minute, it does a D8 of damage. So you roll this one for damage, plus your strength. So your strength being +2. But you can also use it. It's 2. That's it if you use it in one hand. If you take a swing with 2 hands, you do a D10 of damage instead of a bit of bonus damage. So you can declare so say if you had a shield, you would say I'm using a one-handed. If you didn't have a shield, you could use a 2-handed or one-handed, however you want, right? So depending on what you're doing. So that's the basic rule there. We'll get to that one. All right, so yeah, what do you guys want to do? So you've got a moment of respite here while the battle has died down and you defeat a couple of pirates. There seems to be an empty room ahead with a hatch going up and 2, or a big door, a big fancy door like the captain's quarters was. As a group, you guys decide what you want to do.
We march forward. Take over the ship.
Are we going to the fancy quarters again?
Quarter?
So you guys, Scylla and her 2 escaped guys She says, you go forward, I'm gonna go back and try and find some more equipment, and we'll meet you up on the main deck, okay? So she takes off with her 3 guys. You four go forward, and you come out, same exact type of room, if you go through this door. Except, like I said, there's a fancy door right here, at this end, this fancy wooden door, and right above it, like straight up here, there's like a hatch in the ceiling, and clearly like it's like an attic, if you ever seen that, and you open it and a ladder would come down, and you can climb up, you think. And when you get up there, it sounds much louder, so it must lead to the outside, you think, right? But you also see that there's essentially a big padlock hanging from the ceiling as well. And you don't see anyone else in this room. This room is totally empty. For some reason, you were the only one here. It must have been like recently captured. These guys have been here for a few weeks. And yeah, and you've only probably been awake for like a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, okay. Do you want to go look through the fancy door or look through the hatch?
Easy door.
Yeah.
There's door.
Door.
Okay. Door.
So you go up this door. It's a finely carved wooden door. Has all these like nice details in it, and it looks like all these things. Someone make an Arcana check for me. Whoever was the highest Arcana, just tell me.
7.
11. It's 18.
And I got 14.
Okay, so I think between you guys, especially a bard and a rogue, kind of know like a lot of things about weird things like this. You recognize that this is like all the carvings on this door are showing like wizards and magic and stuff, and so clearly it's some kind of it's like a piece of art, right? It's like almost like a painting carved into the door, but it's yeah, like different like wizards casting magic and having spells go off and affecting things around them in like a kind of like on almost like you'd see on a Greek base or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's in that kind of black style, but it's like carved into the door. What do you do?
Open?
And
I'm just gonna try to open it.
There's a big brass doorknob. You try and open it, it turns, no problem. It's unlocked. If you head inside, you open up the door, you see this room. You look inside and immediately you see, I'm gonna check my notes really quickly.
Well, we obviously see the pentagram in the middle of the floor.
That's right. You see this glowing pentagram in the middle of the floor. Looks like it was drawn in like salt and chalk. You may see that. Pull out more importantly. One second. I just can't remember what I got to roll here. First deck. Second deck. There we go. Mage quarters. 1d4. Okay, so 3. Nope, nothing more. Mage quarters, number 3, 1, 2, 3. Actually, this is what happens as you open this door. I'm going to retcon that ever so slightly. One guy, actually 2 people, are standing in this room. But as soon as you open the door, a huge flood of seawater rushes past you guys, like waist height, pushes you back a bit. It doesn't like knock you over or anything. And you see these 2 people standing around this circle, and they're clearly in the middle of casting some spell, and seawater is literally pouring from them. It's like coming out of nowhere, but it's filling up around their waist and filling this room like waist height. When you open the door, let it all out, rush past your feet, and they turn to you, and you see this woman and this man, and the man is covered in like barnacles. Like there's all these hard like creatures on his skin, like all over his arms, his face, and everything. And he like looks shocked and yells like, "Who are you?" And the woman turns and says, "No, wait. These captives look like they've reasonably escaped. I think they can help us get off this pirate ship." And she points at you, and when she points at you, you notice her other hand. One of her hands is regular, but the other hand coming out of her sleeve is like a tentacle, like an octopus tentacle. And they're clearly trying to cast some kind of magic spell. And she says, she turns to you guys and says, we want to get out of here as much as you do. This ship is going down. We've got to get off it as soon as possible. But something's messing with the magic here. Can you help us? Somebody make an insight check. Everyone tell me what your insight score is.
I got a +1.
+1?
+2.
Is that just like?
Yeah, so insight should be somewhere here.
You have a +2.
Okay, so one of you two, because you're the most insightful, make a insight check.
That one?
2 + 2, you don't know anything weird. It's just like, oh, this is weird magic people with like
9.
fish features. 9 + 2, or 7 + 2.
7 +
You guys don't you don't think anything particularly weird about these mages in the front of the boat. They're just two people who are clearly also passengers or something, and they're trying to get off, and they have stopped and offered to help. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
That's it.
You do all notice, though, very clearly these weird features about them, the barnacles and the tentacle and stuff, that kind of stuff. And you also notice this, there are a couple of treasure chests in this room. There's several beds in this room. There's like a writing desk, and it's all like seaworthy type stuff bolted down. Very fancy. It's very similar to the captain's quarters. Not quite as fancy as the captain's quarters, but pretty close to it.
Why are they a part of the crew?
Do you want to ask them that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you ask them, well, are you part of the crew? And they say, well, we're just mercenaries. We're mages hired on for, like, we make favorable winds and we, shoot a fireball at an enemy ship if we need, but we're just like mercenaries. We don't care about the crew. We don't like that they capture people.
Heiji's gonna point to the treasure chest and just be like, can have
Can't ask. Make a persuasion check.
persuasion. He is not really good at persuading people. That's an 8.
That is an 8, so the mage, this woman seems to be more in charge, and she waves you off, like, oh, those are our magical effects, they're too dangerous for common folk. Even though you are a dragon, she's like,
I'm going to. I have something I want to do.
yeah.
I'm
Yes.
going to try and intimidate her to give over the chest.
Okay, so persuasion didn't work, you can try and intimidate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a 10, but that's not enough, because that's 11.
All right, so as a reminder, we are using the index card RPG rule where I'm displaying what's called a difficulty class, DC, of everything you're doing. And it's always 11 right now. When you get to a more difficult area, it might be 12, or it might go down to 10, or it'll change up and
I
down.
want to know what's in that chest.
She rushes over to it, and she actually rushes over to it and like touches it, and you see like some magic glow from her hand, and this symbol swirls around her hand and goes into the lock. The lock glows, and she says, "Well, this is by personal effects. You cannot touch them." Clearly, she's cast some sort of abjuration spell on this. However, you notice as she casts the spell. We're going to roll a d6. One. A couple seconds after she casts the spell, she looks at you, Gunter. She's like, "These are my personal effects. You won't." And she starts, like, seawater starts coming out of her mouth, and then she vomits it in a jet of water across the room, smacks into you, and knocks you to the floor. You're not hurt, but you're knocked to the floor, covered in seawater from this woman as she's like bending over, like vomiting out water. So this happened immediately after she cast a spell. That's why I was like, you definitely make that connection. She cast a spell, this happened. They cast a spell clearly earlier, seawater rushed past you guys out the door, right? So you've noticed these kind of weird things going on. And I think, just for the sake of it, the other guy runs over to her and like grabs her on the shoulder, like just to help her up, and says, and somebody make what's everyone's passive perception?
Mine is a 10.
So your passive perception is 10 plus your perception score under wisdom.
Okay, so 12.
12.
So
I have
10
11.
plus
10 plus your perception score, which is under wisdom.
10 plus
0.
2.
Oh, yeah.
So he has 12.
Yep, 12. Okay, 12 is better than 11, so yeah, the people with higher than 11 can hear over the roar of the waves and stuff. The guy like whispers a bit to her, is like, something's going on with their magic whenever I don't know, there's some sort of curse on the ship. So, that's what you hear, for sure. Okay, anyway, she leans up and says, like, we must flee we must get to lifeboats before the ship goes down in the storm. Whoever the captain worships, whoever his evil god is, has sent his wrath after him. So, can we join you? Will you join us? And we will get to that lifeboat and we'll escape.
I have a goal to kill the captain and take the ship.
They look at each other and they say, we will work for you. If you can manage that, we'll work for you. If you can get us out of the storm. Sound good? All right, so you now have 2 mage allies as well who might be able to help you out. They're mercenaries. If they survive, and if everyone survives, you're going to keep them on board. You're going to have to pay them, but they're powerful NPC allies that could potentially help you out. So, anything else you want to do in this room?
There is another ship.
There is like 2. Basically, what they are, there's clearly 2 foot lockers. So they're like they go at the base of like someone's bed, basically, usually, right? But they just have them against the wall. There's these 2 things here, and yeah, they've locked them. They don't want to give up their stuff clearly. So you can try, but you're gonna have to figure out some way to get past them or convince them.
Sad dragon noises. You just hear sad dragon noises because he wants shiny.
That's right.
Is it their room?
It's clearly like their quarters. They must have mind space. So
They're
well.
important.
So the woman, she tells you her name is Avalandra, and she says she just quickly says, yes, the captain, the captain Wolfa, he hires mercenaries like us all the time. Like I said, we can cast magic spells to call the wind for the sails, or we can cast magic spells to attack the enemies if they're boarding ships and that kind of stuff. So, we're just mages, but we just work for money. We're not evil, even though they look at each other and they say, we maybe made some bad decisions on this trip, but...
Why throw up salt water?
What's that?
Why throw up salt water?
Why did it fill up with salt water?
No, why did she throw up salt water?
She says, there's some sort of curse affecting my magic. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on.
I don't want to do anything else in that room. You guys?
We keep.
I kind of want to investigate
Now-
more.
You want to investigate?
So, I'm going to give you 2 options. You can try and just investigate right in front of them, and they will be like, hey, no, get away from our stuff. But if you make a high enough investigation check, they can't really stop you. Or you can try and sneak back in when they leave this room and come with the other guys.
I'll sneak back in.
Okay, so
Gunter, lift.
they
1,
come,
2, and
they
1.
come out here with you guys, and I'll say, Swift, just you manage to like, you do manage this, you stay behind a little bit, you get in the back of the crowd. Now roll a stealth check, and if you roll good enough, better than 11, they won't notice that you snuck back in for a second. Have a quick look around.
20.
20.
Nat 20!
Nat 20.
Let's go play the
So,
game!
even better.
That's game.
Oh, this
Of this
today
session.
session. Even better, you manage to get at the end of the crowd, and you're like, and you wave and close the door. And they're all inside, like, hey, what the hell? And so now you're inside. There's a key on the inside of the door, and you just click it closed. And you're the only one in there, but you can freely look around. So what do you want to do?
I like that.
God.
Alright, I have to look inside the foot lockers, I'm too curious.
Okay, so there's one, the one that belongs to the guy, that one you go over to and it's just a normal, it doesn't even have a lock, it just opens up. This room would be locked for them normally. And you look in that one and there is some mild like magical treasure. You find a spell book in there. It's only like, it's not a very big one, it's only like something like this, it's fairly thin. But he has all these kind of magical notes in it. There's a couple of different first level wizard spells in that, probably 3 or 4, that if you were to take that and someone could learn them or you could sell it, something like that, it'd be worth some money. There is roll 2 d20s and add it together.
Seven and 16.
So 15, 23. There's 23 gold pieces in a sack.
That'd be
You want to take
22.
that? 22. Yeah, you're right. 22, not 23.
I have my D20.
There's 22 gold pieces in a little sack. There is a magic wand.
No,
And-
I am wrong.
It was
It's
7 and
20.
16.
I thought you said
I can't do math. So
23.
23.
23, it is right.
23 gold pieces.
I'm just blanking, I'm just enjoying this.
23 gold pieces, a book, and a magic wand, and like an oilskin like weather cloak for like traveling. But it's very fancy. It looks really well made. So like if you're up on the top deck, in the storm like you are right now, you'd be protected from the weather.
Yeah,
That's what's in that. So
I'll
yeah.
take all.
So yeah, if you want to write it down, there's a spell book, magic wand, 23 gold, and an oil cloak. Fancy oil cloak, so I should say. And you as a pirate would recognize, hey, that's a good oil cloak. I'd love to have that vibe. Normally, you would never, as a regular pirate, have had something that fancy. But this is quite well made. You recognize that right away.
Yeah, so I just put that on.
Sure, absolutely. And I will say that when they see you, they're going to be like, hey, what the hell? That's like my stuff. But because you roll a natural 20, they're going to be like, leave it for now. They're just going to kind of like, we'll talk about it later. We got to go. We got to get off the ship.
I'll just tell him he's going to give it back after.
And I'd be like, no, I won't.
Shut up!
So, do you want to try the other one?
Heiji is just looking at the stick with interest.
Yeah, let's
You hear a pounding on the door, like, hey, get out of there. We're touching our stuff. But yeah, of course, you're touching your stuff. That's what people do. You look.
Let's look in the other one.
So you look in the other one, and what happens is when you open the lid, you see a bunch of stuff getting like sucked into some kind of like black hole, and just at the last second, you see like all this jewelry and all these fine clothes and like a whole big stack of books, a ton of gold, and it's all going like in this hole, and it's gone. You hear a boop, and it disappears. So she cast some type of sort of spell a minute ago. It clearly was like teleporting it or something. So unfortunately, all that stuff is gone because that's all you can do.
I'm like, shit. Yeah.
You do look at the wand, I will say, and you feel like it has like it almost hums a little bit with some magical energy. So you think maybe if you were to wave it around and possibly try and cast a spell, anybody could potentially cast a spell from it, but you don't know what spells will come out of it necessarily.
I'll take it just in
Yeah,
case.
but you can keep it just like this.
If it gets in my hand, it'll end up as a fireball.
Heiji's just
Well,
going,
let's see.
when
let's see
he
what
comes out, Heiji's just looking at the stick and it's like, he just wants stick.
You want it, yeah. Okay, so you come back out and you're like, where are the old clothes? And you're like, what? What do you mean? I don't know. And the guy, like, he almost grabs you. He goes to grab you, but the woman just like, with her tentacle arm, grabs his hand and stops him and says, no, we'll leave it. Well, I'll replace all that stuff. Don't worry about it. He's like, he growls. He doesn't like you. He doesn't look fat. He's going to like you very much. But he says, come on, we got to go. Okay, so there's a hatch. There is a hatch above you, but you could also maybe explore the ship further to see if there's another way up to the main deck. So, but there is one directly above you right now.
That's fun.
Hmm.
Lift.
So what do you want to do?
I'm just going to lift the. So first of all,
It's only about like this tall, It's not even, it's like 8 feet above, so I'm 6 feet, so it's only like 2 feet above my head. So like,
Gunter
I can easily reach that.
yeah.
but
10.5 feet, so.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
just grab it, pull it down.
so there's a big, heavy iron padlock holding this trapdoor.
Gunter.
I'm going to pick up the dragon so they can lockpick it.
That works, totally.
But
So,
first, I'm going to just smack him in the back of the head, since I could have had them working for me, but he might have
like
ruined
they're
the
still gonna work
chances.
with you.
It's like you could take the shift and give it to the beam.
They'll cost more now.
I think these two look at Swift and say, and kind of like, you kind of get the impression they're like, oh, he had no equipment, now he has at least something, fine, we'll deal with that later. They are decked out, they have like magic wands and like, they have their spells prepared and all that kind of stuff, so they're.
I'm just
ready.
going to have it as a small thing, like,
But keep in
this
mind.
is my underling, and I am dressed as a captain
Yeah.
of sorts.
Keep in mind that this might be a problem later.
Yeah, but as I'm stating, I am taking over this ship
Sure.
as someone taken, so I just scream out. I just will make it as a performance, as I'm good at those.
Yeah.
Like, I am going to be the new captain of this ship. I'm going to bring down the old crew with the help of minions.
Friends, perhaps.
My child, and some elf.
Dwarf. You
Dwarf.
should take offense at that.
Tiny
I did.
person.
This elf,
Take offense to that.
the elf is my minion. The dwarf is new, so I'm not used to
Yeah,
that.
sure, yeah.
No,
Okay,
no,
so-
this is your minion, I'm my own guy.
You
So,
work for me.
No, I don't.
Too bad.
Stop fighting, please.
Heiji, why don't you try and pick that lock?
Okay, that's a sleight of hand.
Yep. Or, yeah, do you have thieves' tools proficiency?
Me going go to
So you are a rogue. You are a rogue, right? You have. You have.
proficiency.
Yeah. So just add d20 plus your proficiency bonus, plus your dexterity bonus.
Plus proficiency, plus dex. 3 plus 4, 7. I did not get my
So because you're like, okay, actually, I'm going to say this. If this rolls on a 1, no, it didn't. Okay, but that rolls on a 4 and stays there. You do feel as you're lifting them up, the ship heaves a bit on you. So the last second you're trying to pick it, but you fall away. And with that happens, some people rush into the room behind you guys down here. And that would be, everyone. Yeah, okay, sure. So basically, this door back here, a couple of pirates and a couple of captives burst into this room. Like, well, the captives are clearly running from someone, and two pirates come in behind them, and they see you guys. This is what's going to happen. I should get the action moving quicker, but these two guys burst in, and they're chasing the captives, like, hey, get back here! And then they see all you guys, and everyone freezes, and I'm going to roll a 6. Okay, for a second, they're like, whoa, but then they brandish their swords, and they're like, attack! And these guys attack you, so everyone roll initiative. You're not going to have much trouble, but...
19.
18.
That is a
So,
So it's 18
8.
plus.
0.
Yes.
Okay, you guys all beat me, so you guys get to go first. These two pirates try and rush at you guys, but they're dumb, clearly, and they're not very fast, and you guys all get to go before them. So,
Yay!
so let's just go clockwise around the table. It's easy. I usually, like, instead of going like by the highest number first, we'll just get everyone to take a turn. It's easier to track. So, what do you do?
I'm going to hit one of them with 2 hands.
Okay, you rush up to one guy with his axe. He has this like flimsy scimitar, and he tries to block your axe, but you roll a d20.
Roll your d20. 12.
You add your strength.
so +2.
And you add your proficiency, which is +2 as well.
16.
So, since you beat 11, you hit this guy. So, you roll the 2 hands, so roll a d10.
Oh, that one? Yeah, that's the D10.
Yep.
8 damage.
8 plus 2, right?
10 damage.
Yeah, so, okay. So, in one hit, you hack down this pirate. And he doesn't even get a chance.
Yay!
Totally hit. So, I'm gonna, with that happening so quickly, I'm gonna have the other guy make a morale check. So with a morale check, I roll a d6 on a 1, 2, or 3. He's like, oh shit, and runs away. And 4, 5, or 6, he stands his ground. So he looks like frightened. He's like, but he draws his sword and is gonna swing at someone else when he gets his turn. But it's Heiji's turn.
Time to be. Yeah. I'm gonna go.
You gotta fly through everyone.
No, I'm just walking.
Yeah.
He's wearing his clothes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Summon him clean. And I'm going to attack him with my rapier.
All right.
But
Beat 11.
not 20! Yeah!
Okay. So
Another 20.
that's 2. So
That's 20 to attack with a stick.
as a reminder, how I do critical hits is a rapier's a d8, right? So you do
It's a d6. No, it's a d8.
Yeah, so you do 8 damage. So you do maximum of the first die. Now you roll a d8.
Roll my d8. Max damage!
So you rolled 16 damage. Add your dexterity.
That is an instant death.
Plus,
Apparently,
18 damage.
So you did 18 damage to this pirate who.
I'm just going to stab him so hard.
Yeah. Before these guys, these idiots are like, they're like pumped up, ready to fight, and they don't even stand a chance. They're gone. So
they enter a room,
combat's over.
kill them, they die immediately.
And these two captives go like, thanks for the assist, and they run off back at the door.
Yay!
Damn it, I could have had more minions.
And those guys just had like chains and clubs and stuff, and like you guys actually have weapons now, so you're getting pretty tough. So yeah, that happens. Okay, so I'll say because that happened, you get another quick reprieve, and you're easily picked the lock this time. You don't have to roll for a second time.
Do we get anything from the soldiers' bodies?
They just have basic weapons, so you can take a scimitar or something if you want, but they
Leave them.
Yeah, they don't have much good. They're just wearing clothes, a scimitar. They're just like poor. They're like, in all honesty, you kind of notice that there's the captives, you guys, who have like nothing on the ship until you get someone like you did. Then there's the pirates. You notice they don't have much more. They seem to be like, maybe they were just like captives themselves who became pirates, got a couple of things, and now just work on the ship. That's almost what you feel like it's happening, right? But they did capture people. They did capture you guys. They're bad guys, I would say. And, so don't feel bad about it. But you noticed in last week, the other big guy that was really a lot tougher, he definitely is like in charge of them. And he had like armor, and he had a nice weapon and all that kind of stuff, right? So he must be sort of in charge, or above that, like the lieutenant or something, right? So you got that. You open up the hatch to the main deck up top, and as you do, rain starts pouring in. You hear howling wind, and you see a flash of lightning and a boom of thunder, and you hear lots of people shouting and swords clashing up on the deck. A ladder comes down. What do you want to do?
Go up.
All right.
Fine.
So if you go up,
Just going to take off his cloak and go. He's just going to take off his cloak now because lightning is fun.
so let's just move this over here. If you go up, you guys come out on this hatch right here at the front of the deck. So everyone can pile out. I'm going to say that he kind of ends up staying down here for the moment because he's not a very good fighter. He's definitely scared more so. He's a wimp. The mages stay down here for the moment, but they'll follow you up in just a second. And you guys are the first ones up to the hatch for sure.
I would say their goal is to basically protect Noseless.
Yeah, sure. Well, they said, okay, we'll provide some magical backup like when you need it, but in the meantime, we'll stick around. So this is the main deck of the ship. You come up this hatch, you see almost right in front of you, there's a little raised platform, and right here, there is a cannon. It is facing forward, but it is on a swivel.
It can be turned around.
It looks like it's very heavy and it would be hard to turn around, but you can definitely attempt to do it.
It is useful. Excited driving.
I don't have a green marker for some reason. I don't know where my black marker went. I think I left it downstairs. So I will say there's like a cannon facing forward. I'm a terrible artist, so please ignore me. But you see a cannon facing forward. You see the mast has broken off. It is trailing all the rigging down onto the deck. There's some crates over here, and you see this area is a raised area. In the distance, you can, in a flash of lightning, you can see this like 7 foot tall, also half orc man up towards the back. He's facing away from you. He raises some kind of mace up in the air, and he has 2 guys standing over him, and you hear a wet thwack as he brings his mace down, and then you see something go over the edge of the railing you see something go over the edge of the railing, and you hear a splash, and he's like a bit higher up. Like these are stairs here. They go up about like 10 feet. So this is the quarter deck. This is the main deck. The quarter deck is the area where the captain would have his wheel and like command all the sailors, right? That's kind of like a standard thing on this type of sailing ship. You, in the meantime, see Scylla and her guys. A bunch of her guys have come up here, and they're in front of you guys, and they're fighting a bunch of pirates. So there's like a big melee going on this deck, right in the middle.
What happened to monkey?
To who?
My monkey.
The 8.
Oh, I don't have a mini for the ape, but you know what? This guy's the ape. He is rushing around. Actually, as they're fighting, this is what happens. As they're fighting, suddenly, you see the ape come down out of the rigging and just like grab one guy and like swing away and throw him off into the water.
Yay!
That's one guy, but the ape then lands down there. So I will say I don't have the ape mini with me, but that orc will have to do.
We have.
There you go.
There.
And basically, there's this huge brawl between you and the captain. There's a cannon close to you. There are some allies below. You got tons of allies at this point. You managed to keep, well, there was only a small fight where someone could have got hurt anyway, but you've been commanded to slay the crew. What do you do?
Start.
Okay. You want to fight? What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I want to see what treasure is here.
You don't see. I will actually make a perception check.
Two.
You can't tell what, but in the flash of lightning up by the captain, you do see this huge chest. You can't see what's in it, but you do see a chest. What does Swift want to do?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What are you going to do? Are you going to try and rush across the deck, get to the captain? You're going to join this melee? You're going to get the cannon? What do you want to do? You're going to make a plan. You tell me what you actually want to.
I'm gonna rush over to the captain.
I'm thinking those 2 are chosen, and then we have the big captain guy, and we also have pirates.
That's right.
We have a lot of buddies.
So I will say the pirates look to be on the defensive, so they're definitely like kind of, they normally would be in control, but they're definitely not right now. But they're on the defensive, but these guys like basically have no equipment. They're a bit weaker than the pirates, so they're not going to stand up for very long.
Happy? Fight?
Right.
All right, what do you go for it? So, well, actually, okay, let's do this again. Let's roll initiative again. Let's see who goes first.
That one again?
17.
D20.
2, 4.
12.
12.
17.
You're gonna go first. So, so you take an action first, then me, then around the table.
If you want to go in,
Timer counts down to 3.
swing at him.
Okay, so go for it.
5, 8, 9.
9. So yeah, you rush up, but into melee, it's hard to get at this guy. You swing and you miss. Okay. Anything else you can do, like a bonus action or anything like that? Yeah, any of that's just regular actions. All right. So this guy swings back at you. Your AC is 9,
Yeah.
but he actually hits. So he does a 1 damage to you as you block it with your huge club, probably. Like you catch it, but it like hurts your wrists essentially, and you take 1 hit point of damage. Because he has the +2. So he swings back and he's like, "You scurvy dogs! We'll get you out. We'll be taking the ship back yet." And yells at you in a storm, whatever. Who cares? That's my turn. Oh well, these guys. What I'm gonna say is the melee here. Instead of me rolling a bunch of die, I'm gonna roll this one for your allies and this one for the pirates. Whoever gets higher, they kind of get like. They win the immediate round of fighting, okay? So orange is the pirates. 19 versus 3, so the pirates rush in and they actually kill this guy. And that guy dies. There's 2 pirates pressing on this guy, and Scylla, she actually though holds her own extremely well. She like fights like 2 guys at once and like defends them with her sword and keeps them away, but the other guys don't stand as well because they're just like commoners with trying to escape, right? So.
And what about Gorilla?
Gorilla will he'll attack the same guy to attack you because that's closest 7. He has a +3, so he does not. He tries to grab this guy, but he manages to like swing away slightly and just get out of his grasp. But definitely, you now have this guy flanked with the gorilla. And if you have advantage to attack him next time, you attack him again. Your turn.
What weapons do the pirates have?
The pirates have like scimitars, so they have rusty, like curved swords, basically. So very simple, kind of cheap weapons that like anybody could outfit your crew with.
I want to rush one of them
Yep.
and swing my axe two-handed at there and take their feet off.
Nice. So I'll say. So yeah, I'm gonna say you came up here. So like.
The door.
Normally, I don't care too much about movement. You do have in the game, like, you can move 30 feet, which is like 6
You
squares.
can move 25.
But I'm going to say you can reach that point easily, right? So yeah, swing your axe. 20.
20 is 1.
You roll a 1. So a 1 is a critical failure. So what happens is you are rushing at this guy, but there's a rain-slicked deck. And you're not maybe used to being on a ship because a lot of dwarves are not sailors. And you're rushing and you slip and fall down. But you're not hurt, you're just falling down.
So just on the ground.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say like you slip and like fall on your like hip and then you like pop back up, but you missed your attack.
Come back.
Yeah.
You get nothing.
Yeah, you get nothing. So
There'll be more punishment like
All right.
what do you do?
The moving spaces.
Yeah, you can reach forward.
I'm gonna go here and flank him
Yep.
and stab this rapier.
Or attack with advantage. So if you flank someone, as if you have an ally directly across and they're in the middle,
I'm gonna borrow your D20.
you get advantage. Advantage, you roll 2 dice, take the better.
Oh,
If you have disadvantage,
7 plus
you take 2 dice per roll, take the worst.
plus 4, so 11. So I do
You
it.
hit it.
Time to roll my D8.
D8 damage.
4 plus 2, so
All All right, you get a good hit on this
Solid
guy.
damage.
And yeah, you stick this guy in the leg, and he's like, get away from me! And he swats at you, but you back off. And he is still standing, but he looks definitely hurt. So, let me say, so you did 6, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So that's that guy. Anything else you can do on your turn?
Sadly, no.
Bonus action as a rogue. Do you have any bonus actions yet? At level
Cunning
1?
action is level 2.
Level 2. That's what I thought. Okay. So Swift. What do you want to do? Yeah, you can basically move into that crowd, no problem.
You do have your longbow.
And you have your longbow as well.
Alright, I'll try to hit the captain.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say he has a little bit of cover because there's like a big rail right here. And it's like it's up much higher. Like imagine if he was like standing on top of the fridge and then there was a rail in front of him, right? But you can't see him, so you can definitely take a shot at him. He's just going to have, this is going to be, oh, you know what? I forgot to increase that. I'm going to increase that to 12, but we'll leave it for the first round. He is going to, you're going to have disadvantage to hit him. So you have to roll twice and take the worst result. Okay? Does that sound good?
Here's the dice.
14.
14 is, yeah, okay, so 14 plus, you beat 12 anyway, so yeah, you hit him.
So, what's my advantage? Like,
So-
what's my, what's the thing I did?
Longbow.
A longbow is D8 of damage, I believe.
So your little.
No.
This one.
This one.
I know, I'm like, oh.
5.
One
5
thing that you
plus
notice
your
for
dexterity.
these,
Plus my
Your
dexterity, which is
highest
3.
number
Perfect.
and your
5,
lowest
6, 7, 8.
number are what they are. They're.
All right, so yeah, as he's, you see him as actually he's raising the mace again that he has in his hand, and that's when you let your arrow fly, and it hits him in the shoulder, and he spins around a bit, and he did not expect that at all, and you see his face in a flash of lightning right at that moment, and he looks super angry, and he is looking directly at you when he sees it, when he turns around, and he points to, with that, you actually see him point to one of these guys as he's holding the arrow in the shoulder. He points with his mace at one of those guys and says, he yells something, but you can't hear quite what he says. Roar the wind, and you see this guy rushes down stairs.
Okay, that's
Not in the battle if he rushes down stairs as a reaction on his turn. Okay, Gunter,
Time to finally play my banjo.
go for it. What are you gonna do?
I just want to play the banjo.
Let me
Bardic
play the song of my
inspiration.
people.
It's a war song.
So you're actually playing a song, like, or magic spell, or what?
It is just me playing the banjo.
Sounds good.
$19. I don't know what I would put this with.
Performance.
Oh, performance.
You beat the target anyway.
Yeah.
12, so 19. Yep, so awesome. That's deadly. So yeah, what do you want the goal of this playing the banjo to be? To inspire your allies or friends or
Intimidate.
intimidate enemies?
It would be intimidation.
Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do is you did beat it, but this guy, like you, explain to me what you do exactly. Just
So-
explain it. Like give me a picture.
You just slow. So, I started to play the banjo and started to sing out this half-orc war song
Awesome.
that is meant just, it is
Yes.
time to fight to your death. Be ready.
I'm gonna say this guy, when you start doing this and he gets so freaked out, he tries to climb up the mast to run away. So you and the gorilla get an attack of opportunity against him. If you want to attack, right? It's not your attack. You can still use your regular attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give a smack.
So you can swing at him if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to swing at him.
All right, go for it. 12 or better.
Oh my god, a crit one!
Because you're playing the banjo, you
Yeah,
don't get a good swim.
I'm
But
trying to
The gorilla also plus only rolled a 5. So this guy, but terrified, starts the rigging that is left of the mast starts like climbing up it.
He is now on the map.
He's out of the way.
He is
Terrifying.
gone.
He's gone. What I'm gonna do is for the other pirates in the immediate area, I'm gonna roll some saves and see if any of them
They need to save.
So I'm going to say one guy. Here's what I'm going to say. This was the pirates. They did save, but they're like, whoa, what's going on? They're frightened of you, and your allies, they get bolstered by your song, so they get a +1 on the next round.
Yay!
Okay. So that was awesome. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
I'm going to now flank him.
An attack?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, go for it.
18.
Go for it. Attack him.
A D8. 8 damage.
8. Nice. Okay. So that's this guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You hit him for 8 damage. Same thing. He's like freaking out. He's like, "Why are you playing that banjo, man? What the hell?" And he's like fighting you back, but then you smack him, and it hurts his guy. Clearly gives him a pretty good wound. He's not feeling good.
This is what happens. And the banjo starts playing.
And Scylla, the paladin, calls out, "Good hit, friend!" And like he's fighting with him too. Like he's having to fight off you and her, like parrying both ways, but you manage to get through his defenses and hit him. Okay, now it's back to my turn, so I'm going to actually say right away, she tries to hit him as well, and she rolls a natural 20. He's dead. He had 2 hit points, so he is 100% dead. So that guy goes down. He screams and he dies.
The power of banjo music.
Power banjo.
This guy over here, who got hurt by you for 6, right? I think.
No.
No, he missed. Yeah, no, we didn't. That's right. The one
The
you hit
other
was
one
6.
is 6.
That's this guy. Okay, so this guy here. All right, I'm gonna have just the pirates and the commoners fight, and pirates win again. So unfortunately, this guy
What are the numbers exactly?
also goes down. So another commoner goes down. So the pirates, that's just like their side, 16 versus 5 for the commoners.
Oh.
But they have equal like footing, is the idea. So, but I will say this, at that point, it is now 2 turns until something happens. But your mages come up through the back there. Nose pokes his head up, but he's like...
He's in the very back.
He's in the very back.
Not meant to do.
He's just like poking up over a thing. He turns around and sees the cannon. And he says like, I got an idea. And he rushes up and starts pushing on the cannon to try and turn it around. That's his action. The mages get up, their hands start glowing with magic power as they're getting ready to cast some sort of spell, but it's clearly going to take a little bit of time. So they're holding off. It's your turn again. So there's a guy right in front of you again, the guy you missed earlier.
All right, well, I will do a two-handed.
Sure, go for it.
Just add in
12 or better on your d20. 6 plus your dexterity plus your proficiency.
No, it's strength plus proficiency.
Oh, strength, yeah.
Plus 4, so 10.
10, so okay, yeah. So this guy parries your blow, but you like knock him back a bit, but he blocks your axe with his sword. Heiji, your turn.
Time to damage the guy with my rapier again.
Yeah, so you're not flanking him this time. You can.
I'm gonna sidestep a little, so technically I am.
Yes, you are. That's fine with me. Yep.
And I go to the best.
Yep. And because you if you're engaged in melee with someone and you run away, they can attack you. Like
Yeah.
unless you use a certain action called disengage, which is like you defensively move away.
Yeah.
We can talk about that another time. But you can keep like within their area and they don't get that attack. You can move around them. Now, I don't work.
Nat 20!
Nice. That guy is dead. There's no way you don't, because what's your modifier? Damage, 3 for dex?
It's +2.
Okay, so roll just, no, you did, yeah,
8
you did.
plus
He did, it's 8, I forgot it's 8, so.
10 damage.
That guy's
Woo!
dead. So you guys clearly now are getting the upper hand completely against the pirates. They're really not doing much to stand up at all. But you know what? I'm going to retcon something really quick. This guy totally was rushing down to join the battle, and I'm going to roll. He rushes in at. He rushes past you guys. Actually, no, from here, he pulls out a crossbow and shoots at the paladin. He hits the paladin for a d8 of damage. 5. Yeah, so he pulls out a crossbow. He's just like walking casually down towards the fight and pulls out a crossbow and like shoots his arrow into the paladin. She stumbles backwards, looks really hurt from that. It is not good. But he's standing there, just getting ready to join the fight. Swift, you're up.
Alright, what's been going on?
Some fighting.
I killed another pirate.
Alright,
I jump onto the broken mast and try to put some distance between me and the
big guy? Sure.
Yeah, put some distance between me and the big guy.
Okay. Yeah, I will say it's like cracked off and leaning on the rail, so you can easily like run up it. It doesn't really take much. It's a bit
It's also
slick.
someone at the very top of it.
Well, yeah, but it's like leaned out into the water,
Mm.
right? So it's almost on like this kind of an angle. It's not straight up really at all. So you can run out towards the edge of it. Yeah. All right, go for it. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna shoot the
Big guy?
Yeah, the big guy.
Go for it.
8.
8 plus your dexterity plus your proficiency.
Plus 5.
Do you have plus 4?
Yeah, I got +5.
You hit him.
It also would have been +1 due to my action.
Yes, and plus 1, so you definitely. Yeah.
So he would have gotten it even if he didn't have proficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
roll a d8
5.
plus your dexterity.
Wait, that's a D10.
Oh yeah, it's a d10.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's right. This one.
2.
2 plus your dexterity is 3 or 2? 3. So you do 5 damage to that guy. He like you basically within seconds, like he shoots his arrow, you run up and shoot your arrow, and it's like they're almost like still in midair as they fly past each other. He gets hit in the shoulder, and like he drops his crossbow at that point, and pulls out his axe. He just drops it right on the back. Doesn't care about it anymore. But
Time to flank.
your turn.
Time to flank.
With who? Because you're not flanked.
No, him.
Yeah, you can move up. You'll just get a regular attack against him. Okay.
I can't flank him.
Well, there's no ally, so an ally has to be here for you.
Ah.
Like say,
All right.
if he were like this, that would be flanking, right?
Mm.
But you can definitely attack him, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, roll it.
20.
20. Roll your maximum damage. So, do we decide what type of weapon your club is? Your banjo?
It's the Great Club.
Great club. So that's a D10 or is it D8?
I believe it's a D8, but I get a +5 to it.
Yeah, awesome. Go for it.
So I have 13 damage, and I have the Savage Strike, so I get an extra dice on it.
Yes, you roll like 3 die, right?
I
You
roll
get
3
2
dice.
more.
So you get 1 full, which is 8.
Yeah.
But you roll 2 more.
Second 8,
16.
19, 24 damage.
Nice. Why do you have 24
Plus 5.
damage? Well, what do you add to your damage? It should just be your deck. It should just be your strength.
Strength and athletics.
Not for damage.
Okay,
So
so
you still get +3, which is still great. I mean,
yeah, so I don't know why it was changed to +5 then.
21. You did 21 damage to this guy, and he was already hurt. And I will tell you, he has 20 hit points. I one-shot
So
him.
he is very dead.
He is very dead. So yeah, he fires his arrow. You,
Nineteen.
Swift fires an
I
arrow back
get
at him.
22.
Yes, that's
Jeez.
awesome. And so Gunther, how do you kill this guy? What do you do with your club? You actually kill this guy. Top of the head, just like Rush's. Terrifying. It is horrible. It's actually not. It's actually really bad.
It is a bad way to die.
Not good.
And he,
I'm pretty sure that guy would have seen it and just gotten.
he would have seen the last one, the 7'6" half-orc swing down a banjo. All he heard was the music, and he realizes now, this is how I die. And then death.
Yeah, totally dead.
He got shot, he realized he got shot, then a half-orc is that crushed him with the banjo a bit. Like, he loses a full foot in length, and he just dang,
It just like comes down into like this area.
like,
It's terrible.
skull broken, back completely shattered, ribs.
Terrifying.
John, pass me your plate.
Okay, so you
This
I'm
is
going
the
to say
strength of the banjo.
killing one of those guys. There's only one of these pirates left. He's gonna make a morale check to see if he's just like if he just knows
witnessed
that.
all that.
He witnesses that and looks horrified in his eyes, just drops his weapons and puts his hands up.
He loves so.
So this guy just like he doesn't try and run away, but he like it's like I surrender.
I want to mercy kill him. Just a swift.
When it gets back to your turn, you may be able to. But,
Yeah, let me mercy
So
kill
that
him.
happens.
Just snap it in the neck.
the paladin, she rushes up to the mast here, just to kind of like get some cover. The gorilla is there. The gorilla, I'm gonna say, chases up the mast of that guy that ran away, and you see up, like way up in the mast, you hear a scream, and you see a guy go flying off and
Yeah. The monkey does
that.
that. The monkey's at the end of the mast just here.
Yeah, he like rushes up into the remaining rigging. There's a little bit of rigging still, like kind of held up in the air, right? And, like a rope ladder and stuff like that.
It's
That's
very,
what
it's still slanted, but.
Yeah, like the thing is bent over the edge of the edge of the thing. The wizards, they cast, they point their hands out, and they both cast a magic missile, and they cast it at this guy up here, who's guarding the other stairs. So it automatically hits. Magic missile is a kind of magic spell. Can I get 3d4s? Yeah.
Keep mine.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, okay, yeah. These six magical bolts fire out of the wizard's hands, and they smash into this guy, and he just flies over. He gets blown away into the water, totally dead. But once again, something weird happens when they cast magic. So, the man, water starts like just appearing around here and pouring, and it fills up the whole deck. Everyone make a dexterity save. Like this rush of water, basically a big wave comes out from him and like hits you guys in the back of the neck. Back from the neck.
19.
So,
10.
so your dexterity saving throw, yes, it was black, right? So you have +2.
Oh,
12,
So you save,
I'm 14.
unnatural 20.
12.
save, and what was Swift? Swift, you're good because you're up on the rigging.
Yeah,
You're safe. You're up out of the water.
So I'm already safe.
You're safe anyway. All you guys do that, but I'm gonna say like this pirate guy gets knocked down, and these guys get knocked down. They're okay. They just get knocked over. That's really weird. The paladin, she saves or gets pushed against the rigging. Now then the woman, something happens to her as well. For her arm, which was a tentacle, she screams, and her arm was a tentacle, grows 3 more tentacles, comes out of her arm, and she looks like really horrified. Something insane is going on. Something really horrible. And then I'm going to say Noseless is going to make a strength check. If he can beat the number, he can turn the cannon around. 14, he beat it. So the cannon now is facing back towards the quarterdeck, and it's facing back towards quarterdeck. The way is mostly clear to the captain, or the way is clear to the captain. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna shoot him.
All right, so we're still in initiative, so let's keep going around the table. What do you do?
Our guy is still
I wanna
alive.
take the crossbow.
You can rush up and grab crossbow. It doesn't have a bolt in it. You have to load it, but that guy has like a quiver of bolts on his belt. So,
They probably snapped off and are now just on the ground next to.
well, it's just they're just in his belt. You know, basically, he has like something like this. And there's a bunch of arrows coming out of it, crossbow bolts. So, if you want to fire this turn, or if you want to load it, that takes your turn. Right?
Yeah.
And you can fire next turn.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah. Okay. So you rush up, you grab as you're rushing, you like pull back the string and you grab a bolt and you stick it in. You level that captain shoot. Heiji, what do you want to do?
To advance further. I'm advancing forward.
Yep, you can get about that far to the stairs. So. Anything you can do from a distance, or are you just advancing?
How many feet?
Oh, I'm going to ask this really quickly now. You guys found 2 healing potions of healing. Who has them?
I have a potion of healing
I
and
have the
noxious
other.
cactus.
Yeah, you have the noxious gas.
I'm the other one
Yeah,
healing.
sure.
And so I found it.
Yeah, so as an action, if you give someone or drink a potion of healing yourself, or you can give it like to an ally, like force them to drink it basically if they're like knocked out, they gain 2d4 plus 2 hit points back. So we roll that if it happens, but let's see if that happens. Okay. Move all this stuff out of the way.
He is currently not dead.
2d4.
This guy, he's not, yeah, he just
I'm
not.
actually,
He is scared shitless.
if I'm right there, I am probably around 15 feet.
You're about 15 feet, yeah. What do you want to do?
dead.
Lightning breath.
Nice, do it.
You need to make a dex save.
Okay,
Save is 12.
save is 12 for you, good, okay.
Save is the exact same as
The captain has +4 to his rolls.
your dex.
3,
Okay.
he fails.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I'm taking that.
Roll up that damage.
7 damage.
Nice.
7 lightning damage. He is zapped.
Yeah, you just shoot lightning from your breath, zaps into him, like right into his chest. He stumbles backwards, and he starts glaring at you now. He's not happy. He looks very angry. Swift, what do you do? Shoot an arrow?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a bit long range, but you can see him. You're up higher now, so there's no cover bonus for him, so it's just a regular attack. Okay, so D12.
It's 12.
Beat the 12. That's the target. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
heard that and I was like, oh my god, another dice. Oh my
You guys-
DC 12.
I don't know who wants those D4s.
6.
6 in total?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you shoot the arrow, the wind really picks up, and it like just goes wild and just kind of misses it. So, unfortunately. Gunter, your turn.
Messy kills. Nap of the nap.
I will, I'll give that to you as a free action.
Yeah, and I'm going to advance forward.
Okay, so I'll say you can get to about the same spot, okay? So you're not quite within range
Time
of
to
it,
play the
but
banjo.
do it. So make a performance check. If you do, then I will give something to the battle. To beat the target.
3. No, I didn't beat 1. I can't.
You start playing the banjo, but as you get closer to this guy, you see this guy's is actually scary. Like compared to everyone else, you're maybe not scared, but you're like, ooh, this guy actually does look tough compared to everyone else. So maybe this will
I'm
be a bit of a fight.
surprised that there's another half orc.
You notice something about this guy. He's dead, and he's lashed to the wheel, and he's kind of like still moving weirdly, and he seems to be an undead zombie of some kind, and he's staring at Oak. It's very weird. You immediately knows that. You smell him.
Not used to dead pests.
It's strange.
Not dead.
All right. Okay. Anything else you can do?
No, that was it.
All right. So, Captain is right here. He slowly walks towards you guys, and as he walks up right next to both of you and takes his mace and it appears to be swinging at you, Gunter, but he purposely misses and hits the ground, and a shockwave comes out from where he hit his mace. Both you guys make a Constitution saving throw.
Con save. Oh, 5.
12 or better.
14.
14,
That's
you
a
got it.
19.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you guys both kind of like leap back a little bit as this and like buffet yourself away from this energy, but this loud crack of thunder like comes out from where he hit his mace, and he points at the both of you after you jump back and you don't take any damage, luckily. But he says, "I'm going to sacrifice you both to Dagon."
My goal is to kill you. This ship will be mine.
And at that, when you say that, he looks horrified for a minute. He gets his like glance of fear in his face. He's like, "No, Dagon can't take my ship away and give it to you."
As long as you go down, I will get it as a promise from that spirit.
I will. It's like anyway. Yeah, you guys are having a growl off basically.
Half-orcs just
And
Heiji is just like, who is Dagon? Is he a dad?
DAGOing.
no, I am dead.
So you guys get up there. You fight him, and just as you guys are in the middle of this fight, you see this huge wave sweep over the side of the ship. Everybody make a dexterity saving throw. 12 or better.
On my D20.
Yeah,
I got
20
three.
plus your
19.
9 plus
So
4.
yeah. Good.
13.
13. You fail. Okay, so all you guys are good, and I'm going to roll for the captain on this as well, actually. 16, he passed as well. Basically, he grabs onto the rail at the last second as this wave sweeps over him. Gunter, you get pushed 5, 10, 15 feet this way. You're lucky that you weren't standing right there. You would have fell down and hurt yourself. And everyone else saves. The paladin, I'll go for she got a natural 20s because she was grabbing onto the mast, and it was totally fine. And the mages, they also passed noseless. 12 also very luckily passes.
He's holding
you
on to
hear
the cannon.
noseless yell out. Yeah, he's like buffets himself against the cannon, and you hear him yell out as like, "Get him in line!" And he's clearly aiming like straight back this way. So he yells that out. In the meantime, another wave will crash in 4 rounds. So,
Yeah.
so that is. Did I attack with him? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, because that was you guys all saved. Okay, your turn.
So my crossbow's loaded.
Yep.
I want to aim it at the.
So because Heiji's in front, he has a little bit of cover, so he's plus. So that you would have to fire at disadvantage. So you have to roll twice to take the worst result and still be shot. You can move. You have a movement action you can take first.
Yeah. Okay.
If you want to try and line up a better shot.
I probably will.
Because there's not much going on all at once, you can probably do that, right?
There.
Um,
Does that work?
He's still covered by like the rail and the stairs. So like,
Go up.
yeah, if you get on the stairs, you get a launch sight on him. But you don't have to go up right next to him.
Cool.
All right, yeah, you're basically like 10 feet away and you rush
So
up.
now I just do one,
Yeah, D20 plus your dexterity to hit.
which is
So
0.
So flat D20. 4. And
I'm struggling.
the wave, the boat rocks a bit at the last second and it goes wide. So, Heiji.
Okay. Let's go with Thor Endurance. I can't exactly flank.
You see this now as you get closer, huge treasure chest.
Treasure chest is tempting, but also should kill this baddie. Gun, what do?
Get behind him and attack.
You are engaged with him, so you could fly like around behind him.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's really
you stay
easy.
engaged. He swings at you but misses. He just swings his mace wild as you're too quick.
Alright. Time to stab him in the back. 7 plus 4. I miss.
You miss, yeah. So because you're maneuvering so much, you just miss at the last second. So okay, Swift,
I'm gonna try what I did last time, I'm gonna shoot him.
keep going. So I'm gonna say because because 2 allies are very near him, you have advantage. So you roll twice, take the better result.
10
10 plus
plus
5.
dexterity.
you
15.
hit him.
Yahoo! Roll
Long
your
shot arrow
initiative.
across the deck, back into his shoulder.
6.
6. All right. Arrow goes into his leg this time instead of the shoulder. I always say shoulder, but he's like but he doesn't even like flinch. He's hit and he's standing there still swinging his mace, but there's like a big arrow sticking right. It's like sticking through his leg. It's after coming out the other side a little bit. Doesn't seem to care, but he definitely hurt. Okay, Gunter.
I'm going to grapple him over towards the middle.
Okay, so you're gonna to grapple. We're both gonna make a opposed roll off. So you roll your strength, I'll roll my strength, and highest wins. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your strength?
I got 10 plus 5.
Ooh, I only rolled a 14. You got 15?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I got proficiency in athletics, so that's plus 2.
I'll give you athletics. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
this
Athletics
will
is
be
grappling.
athletics.
That's totally. I agree. So yeah, you rush back up to this guy, even though he got washed away, and you just grab him like around the waist and start pulling him back. So you can
Pull him towards the very middle where the cannon would aim.
So I will say you move 15 feet, you move back 15 feet, basically. He moves like you rush him right back there. You don't have any movement left.
I do not.
So you are still grappling him as you get into this spot. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, so timer decreases to 3. He is going to you haven't grappled, he's going to attack you. So 11 plus 4.
That's going to not
hits
hit
you.
me anyway.
So he hits you with his mace for 7 damage.
Down to 8.
Down to 8.
Wait, no.
How many hit points did you get?
I'm at 4 now.
Okay. Yeah, so he hits you for 7. He hits you with his mace, and as it does, you see like black ink kind of like leaks out of the mace when he hits you, just like on your shirt, basically. But he hits you, that's his action. He doesn't try and get away, because he doesn't really realize exactly what's going on, basically. He's just fighting with you because he's mad. Your turn. Now,
What
you're
about
gonna...
Noseless?
Noseless is aiming a shot.
Does anyone else notice he's aiming?
Yeah, he's yelled it out.
Yeah, that's why, yeah. So Zayne, what's your character's name?
Gunter.
Gunter got him in line with cannon. So it's just him left, hey? And
It's just him,
undead.
yeah. The undead thing, it doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's just like
staring.
staring the ship. Yeah. So you can flank him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you would roll with advantage to hit him with your axe if you want to.
So yeah. 9.
9
Falling, right? No. What is it?
plus your strength plus your proficiency. So plus 2 plus 2. So yeah, d12.
13,
Yeah. So yeah, you rush up behind him.
Your highest was 13, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
that wasn't on 13, sorry, it was on 5.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, yeah, you hit him. You hit him with your axe, 10 damage.
Cool.
So roll a d10 of damage. Roll your d10.
This one?
Yep. Plus your
9
plus your strength.
Plus 2.
11.
11. Perfect.
Yay.
Okay, he's starting to look pretty hurt now. In fact, he looks pretty hurt, and you hit him in the back with your axe. He has this really thick armor on, like this big heavy coat and like thick chainmail armor. But you can feel it go through his armor, and he like screams out in pain, but he looks just mad more than anything else. But he looks like when Thor hits Thanos, kind of, but it's in the back. He does that. Heiji, your turn.
All right. Technically, gonna.
You can get in close enough, but you won't be flanking because you're technically not across from someone. But you can definitely attack them.
Okay. Rapier stab. Here we go. Well.
That's enough.
Plus.
Yeah, that hits 12 hits.
So 16.
Yeah.
Rolling damage.
Roll your d8.
6 plus. That's double to 6. I know. So that's 8 damage.
8 damage.
8 good old stab.
All right. So yeah, you poke through a weak point in his armor. He does not look. He's almost falls to one knee at this point. He's not looking good.
Yay.
Swift. Your attack or your round, rather, whatever you want to do. So you got a pretty good line of sight of this guy right now because your friends have ganged up on him. So.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him.
Go for it.
2.
Goes wild. So winds pick up your arrow. It's hard. The wind. You notice actually. I will say this. You notice the winds have kind of gotten way stronger in the last just even couple of seconds. So there's a huge gust of wind right now. So your arrow just flies off.
I'm just going to use my healing potion.
Go for it. So I'm going to say you can let go. And
yeah, I'm letting go, stepping back a bit.
Yeah.
Just like 10 feet away, just drink my potion.
Sure. I will say that do this work. Just roll a, because he's flanked, he's going to roll, if you step away, he's going to roll an opportunity attack, but at disadvantage because he's flanked. And by 2 friends.
I'm still facing him.
Yeah. But if you move outside 5 feet, basically is the idea. So is that okay?
I'll move back 5 feet.
Yeah, so he's going to roll with disadvantage. Yeah, he misses. Definitely misses. So
what do I roll?
2d4 plus 2.
I just healed 7.
Nice.
So I healed off all the damage that I just took last round, so I'm back at 11.
You step back, chug this red potion. Your wounds literally magically start to heal as you step back.
The wound he made last time just healed.
This is done. Okay. So now it is back to my turn. He's going to go first. He once again takes his mace, slams it on the ground. You two have to make con saving throws. So you add your constitution, but no.
Suggest 20 though?
Yeah, d20 plus 2.
I failed.
19.
20.
You pass, you take 2 damage as thunder smashes all around you. The boards literally explode around you and you take 2
It's
thunder
not
damage.
lightning damage though.
Thunder damage.
Thunder and lightning would.
Are you resistant to it?
I'm
Lightning.
resistant to lightning.
Lightning, but thunder is different. So he does that, and he growls again. He's like, I'll still, I'm not beaten yet. And then, just at that point, Noseless says, "Boar!" and he fires the cannon. He's going to make an attack roll. He has +2. If he does not get if he doesn't hit, then it just blows a big chunk out of the deck. But if he hits, he hits. It was a thunderous roar. As a thunderous roar, the mages jump out of the way. The paladin ducks her head. It smashes through part of the still standing mast. This crazy cannonball. Swift, I'm going to say because of that, with advantage, make a dexterity saving throw because it smashes through the mast, which shakes into your feet. You got it.
11.
Yeah, so you like jump off the mast and like land on the deck as just as a cannonball smashes through, and you two guys make a dexterity saving throw. You're fine because you stepped back away.
Yeah.
So yeah, D20 is your dexterity, and if it's filled in, then you add +2.
9.
5 in total.
9.
9 in total.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys take collateral damage, not terribly too much necessarily, but I'm going to say this is a. How much damage would a cannonball do? Let's say I'm going to say it does 4 d6s of damage. So it's not like a huge cannon. It's like a small, like anti-personnel one. It's going to do 46 plus 4 damage.
That's
I got it. Right. So
probably going to kill him now.
6, 10, 11, 16, 17, 18, 19 damage.
Wait, no, that would be 20 if it's 16.
Yeah, 20 damage. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so at the last second, Noseless, out of nowhere, fires the cannon, a huge roar across the ship. There's a hole in the captain's chest. The zombie is obliterated. The captain is like just kind of standing there, falls back against the wheel, and is like holding himself up and looking down, and he goes, I can't believe you betrayed me. And he falls to the ground, dead. As that happens, a huge, way bigger wave than any you've seen yet bears down on the ship. You all look up, like 30, 35-foot wave crashes over the deck. Everybody has to make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh.
Gunter, before this even happens, you see the captain's body and like the chosen get swept away into the water. Yeah. You see pirates, you see everyone hold on. I will roll
12.
for 12?
Yeah.
You got
15.
5.
it. You got it.
5.
It's 5. It's disadvantage, isn't it?
5
Yeah.
plus
5
5.
plus.
2.
17.
So 7.
Wait, you got, oh, wait.
Jeez, 7.
Jesus, 18.
Yeah.
Anybody who beat 12, tell me.
Oh god, I got 2.
Gunter and Vanjuul over the edge of the boat. You guys see this happen though. The paladin passes. She's holding on the mast. Oh well, actually no. She rolls a disadvantage. 8, 9, 10, 11. She goes over.
Use 2 d20s.
Yeah, that's true. Roll that one.
That's 18.
13. Well, 13. This guy, this mage, he holds on. Roll it for me.
6.
This mage holds on and roll for Noseless.
14.
10, 11, he has a +2. 11, 12. He holds on to the cannon with all his might. So they're fine.
So
People
really,
scattered all over the place. The paladin and you two are off the side of the ship. I'm not saying you're dead or gone.
yeah,
You're
just
gone
hanging
off the
on.
boat. You're in the water. What do you guys do?
What about the 8?
The 8? The 8 was up high in the rigging. So
It was on the,
the last bit of rigging.
Yes.
Left on there. So
they could probably just jump over.
yeah,
As
it managed to get. Like think about the 8 was up like 20 feet and the wave came down at the base, right? So like everyone else was down on the deck, so you guys got like the brunt of it. Like I said, the captain, you see his body get washed away. You see like the pirate, well I think he was dead. The any of the dead bodies of the pirates, they all get like washed away by this giant wave. The ship almost tips over from such power, but just then it rights itself. And you see a little bit in the distance, not very much, you see in the distance. Do you know what I mean by God rays, when like the sunlight breaks through the clouds over the ocean and there's like a big pillar, but it's like 100 or 200 feet away yet. But you can see the edge of the storm. These two are in the water. What do you guys do? What does
I'm gonna
Swift and
shout
Heiji do?
first to Swift. Swift,
There's rope around, there's rigging around, there's a lifeboat back here.
Benji.
So you can go after one of them.
Yeah,
What do you do?
yeah. He is not so good at saying Vanjuul, so tell
Go for it.
Guys watching about Drag Race know who that is. So I'm going to go getting some rope and going to help
There's a big coil of rope, no problem.
kill
There's always
Gunter.
rope on the ship. There's always
Yeah.
So,
That's it.
okay. How are you gonna do it? What do you do to try and save Gunter? You gotta tell me something that might have the rope.
I toss half the end of the rope while holding the other end and hope Gunter
Just to help
grabs it.
pull him up. Okay, so you see Gunter in the water. You're Gunter, you just like are dipping under the waves, hardly able to breathe, but you're like able to just tread enough water to stay on the surface of the rough waves. You see a rope smash down next to you. Make a, I'll say you grab it, no problem. But to climb up out of the water, you're gonna have to make like an athletics check.
Good thing you're proficient.
You are proficient, I was gonna say, so.
8 plus 5, that's 13.
12, you're getting pushed out to farther away from the boat on the waves, and the rope is like straining. You're trying to pull it back as hard as you can, and suddenly Gunter, with all his strength, reaches out and hand over hand, boom, boom, starts climbing up the side of the ship, and exhausted, flops over the side of the rail, and it's like spitting up water. You're back on the ship. Swift, what do you do?
I'm dying.
Swift! I told you to help her. Swift!
I over here toss a rope to Vanjuul.
Same thing, just trying to just get him roped, get him out. Hopefully you can save him. What do you, so I'll say that's fine. You, no problem. There's tons, like I said, there's tons of rope. You grab something from the rigging. You like swing over swashbuckler style and throw it out into the water. You got to grab the rope and try and get up. So you're going to make an athletics check.
Cool. So how do I do that?
So D20 and
Roll
you see athletics.
D20 plus 2.
10.
So, yeah. 10? Okay, so you get swept out, you miss the rope, you get swept out further into the ocean. Now there's 3 of you guys. What do you guys do?
Well,
You have one more turn. This is it. You get one turn to save your new friend.
I'm going to try to
Make a plan. Tell me what to do.
I'm going to grab rope, tie it onto the mast, and grab a big chunk of wood, tie the other part to it, and toss it out for her to grab onto.
Okay. Here's a fairly big, like, splintery piece of the mast.
Yeah.
As you do that, the paladin runs up, or the paladin's gone. She went off you see her in the water as well. But one of these other guys, he stands up and he helps you. Like, you just chuck this piece of wood out in the water and tie the rope. Make it again, but with advantage this time.
Okay.
Because you have
Nat 20 and a nat 1.
So
Nat 20.
the piece of wood, like, it hits like nose
Lovely.
first and like goes under the water and pops back up like a life preserver, like right in front of you, and it has a huge thing to grab onto. You just grab onto it. All your friends working together, pull the rope back in, and pull you up the side. Awesome.
Yay.
You guys see the paladin struggling in
Save
the
the
water.
paladin.
What
We
do
have.
you do? This
Yeah, we have to save the power.
you can try and save her. Everything's going to be at disadvantage to save her. That's it.
Okay.
But you can all work together.
Yeah.
So I will lower, in fact, because you're working together, I will lower this to 10.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do? As a group, what do you guys do to save this person? Maybe didn't do a whole lot, but certainly healed you earlier, fought a couple of guys, led the uprising to get you guys free in the first place.
Yeah.
What do you do?
You said there's a lifeboat.
Let's
There's
take
a lifeboat.
Those are her 2 guys.
Yes.
Let's
Put them in
take
the boat. Tell them to go together.
let's take what we used to save Vanjuul
That was my idea.
and
Untie it from the mast and then just tie it.
send it right to her and ask everyone else to help.
Okay. So I will say, I'm going to say disadvantage, but her friends, they help, so you can have regular flat roll, not advantage.
Flat rolls, everyone.
And, okay, 1 second. 3 out of 4 people have to beat it, is what.
Oh, okay.
10 though. 10 or better.
It's D20, right?
D20.
Oh, Jesus, this is.
That one! No!
The paladin, you guys are all trying to save, you're all trying to work together, and you see at the last second her hand is holding up, and she waves, and kind of you even see a smile on her face, and she yells out something, but you can't quite hear it, and then she yells.
Wait, can we still roll to see?
Well, there's 2 fails,
I know, but if there's
One nat 1 failure.
and one's an at one.
if we both get nat 20 though,
I got an 11.
If you got a nat 20.
no.
If you got a nat 20, I would consider something, but
Yeah.
One failure, nat 1.
I tried. She is gone. That is upsetting.
she's.
Maybe it's just going to
Uh,
start crying.
A few hours later, the storm is broken. It's a sunny morning on the calm waters. You look around and you see destruction all over the ship. Mast is broken off, rigging is destroyed. The monkey is up in the rigging still, the ape, I should say. There are only a few pirates left who quickly surrender to the new crew, the new masters of the ship. The Kraken is yours. There are navigational charts in the captain's quarters. There's loot on board. There is a treasure chest.
I want elf in that treasure chest.
I don't have my, yes I do, I can do this online. We'll roll up a random treasure hoard that's in that treasure chest.
If he wants treasure chest.
I'm going to take over as captain of the ship.
Okay, how do you get in the rigging? Because I want to save, I want the ape to get down there safe.
Oh, he's safe. He's just like able to climb really well. There's a little bit of rigging, like I said. There's one main mast, but there's other the rigging comes down to different sides of the ship, and the parts that are still partly standing, he was climbing around up there. But he's able to do that. There's a huge treasure chest. You notice the captain's black mace is lying on the deck. It's this black iron mace in the shape of a squid. You feel, when you pick it up, it feels oily and weird. It's kind of gross, but it's like clearly some sort of magical weapon. And
This is my ship. The new captain of the Kraken.
I am the captain.
as you rally the crew to see what you can do to get safety, Noseless goes and looks at charts. He starts looking over places you can navigate to. Your mast is broken. It's not going to be easy. You could end up somewhere random. You could end up maybe just limping into a port. But in the meantime, you look through the treasure chest. You've claimed this ship, and I'm going to say.
I'm going to have them. When
Random
the monkey
treasure
comes
chest.
down, I have some. I'm going to get him a hat.
There's definitely a hat.
I'm giving him a hat and making him a pirate along with my crew. I'm making him an equal. He deserves, the monkey deserves it. That is his name. He is Monkey.
You're just monkey.
Monkey. You are now my crew.
In the chest, when you open it up, you find a huge pile of coins. There's like 2,000 copper, 600 silver pieces. I will send this to you guys later. 80 gold pieces. There's all these art objects, so like fancy things that they've stolen from people. It's a box of perfumed candles, a silver mirror, a cloth talisman, fine cloth sash trimmed with leopard fur, a fine cloth hunter's cap threaded with gold. Perhaps the monkey could have the hunter's cap.
That's monkey cap.
And these are all worth clearly like a lot of money. They're all fancy things that they must have stolen. And I will also say that there is, they're like, roll a d4. Someone will just roll a d4. That's fine. There are 4 potions of healing in there as well. So 1 for everyone. All right.
And is there any more news?
That is the, I think that is the main thing right now. You're on calm waters. You've succeeded in your mutiny. You've survived. You've claimed the boat. You've claimed the treasure. You've defeated the captain. Where do you go next?
Let's go into a port town.
All right. So I think that's where we end our session.
Are we did we level up?
You are all now level 2. 100%.
Alright, I'll do level ups. stuff. Darn.
We can talk
When
about
I
that
get
later.
home.
All right, good times. That was a great session.
I claimed them